Earl Morrall in 1968 with the Colts, who was on his fifth team. They both went on to lose the Super Bowl. And there's been a lot of conversation here about whether Sam Darnold has, quote unquote, silenced his critics. Kmart, you were there covering that game. You were covering it from the Rams' point of view the other night as Sam Darnold played just brilliantly.
Yeah.
What did you take away from Darnold and his performance in that game as he takes this team to the Super Bowl?
Finally, as somebody who was around the Jets when he was drafted, this whole year, the whole playoffs, leaving Minnesota, the key was Sam Darnold has to get the Seahawks deep into the playoffs, right? And now he's gotten them to the Super Bowl. Being on that field as the confetti's flying, I'm watching Sam Darnold, his teammates coming up to him, congratulating him. Post-game, guys saying, I can't say enough good things about Sam. We love the feel-good stories, but for a guy who he went from seeing ghosts to now he's about to see Santa Clara. And that is a wonderful thing, because you see that, this is why I hated the redrafting conversation earlier, because you see how a career goes. The arc of it is not linear. There's going to be the ups and downs. And for him to sort of rise from it all and to be in a system that a team that loves him, that feels like he can be the guy, he has everything in front of him. They're loaded.
His story is pretty rare, though. I mean, to have had the sorts of valleys.
It's still just 28 years old.
Yeah. So
but look how many teams he's been on.
A whole other chapter, yeah.
I think one of the cool things, and Kimberly knows this, being on the field, interviewing Sam a million times, like, he won't play into this, though. He refuses to lean into it. Whereas we love the feel-good story and the chip on the shoulder, he just looks tunnel vision and does not even look at it that way, which is so rare. Whereas I think we all live in the comment section. I don't think Darnold even knows what the comment section is. Like, he refuses to have that bitterness, which is actually really refreshing, in that he just looks forward and says, this is where I'm at now, and I love these teammates, and we're going to do everything we can to win.
You think about it, to your point, he made the joke. Somebody asked him about, what does it feel like to be the first of that 2018 draft, the Josh Allen, the Lamar, to get to the Super Bowl? And he said, actually, I made it with the San Francisco 49ers, so I was already at the, you know what I mean? But that's part of it. He's not leaning into it.
Let me get Neek in here, because the other thing he's got is he's got a guy that might be the best receiver in the entire NFL, and Jaxson Smith-Njigba on his side.
Yeah, his ability to create explosive plays, I think, is really the difference. He's having a Tyreek Hill-esque season. You saw this in the championship game. He's going to be matched up against some pretty good corners for the Patriots, but he does this routinely. He led the league in explosive plays. He had 4 plays of 40-plus yards. Like, those are big. He's going to Gonzalez, who's a great man corner, but the thing about Gonzalez is he's confident and he's willing to be aggressive and squat on plays. They're going to want to blitz Sam Darnold because he gets a lot worse when he's under pressure. The question is, will Gonzalez and Carlton Davis, 2 very good man corners, how they hold up against Jaxson Smith-Njigba in those situations? Is the pressure going to get there, or is Jaxson going to have an opportunity to make those explosive plays that he's been racking up all season long?
What do you think, Jeff? Jaxson Smith-Njigba the difference maker?
Absolutely. I mean, you think, and what Neek's saying about pressures and pickups. How does Seattle look at the way the Rams played the Seahawks and the way the Patriots play is going to be completely different. They're going to try to get home and bring pressure and make Sam make the bad play, right? And let one of those corners squatting. But the other thing is, it's feast or famine. When you blitz, you're putting your corners on that island, and as good as JSN is at making guys miss and turning guys' hips and doing those things, it's good. That's the matchup everybody's going to circle: protection and explosive plays on the back end. We talk about it all the time. It's become an even more important stat than turnovers, honestly, as games have been won and lost by it.
Real quick, Neek.
It'll be interesting, too, because they're both very good corners, but I wonder if they're going to put Gonzalez on them, or if they'll go Davis with a double team and let Gonzalez go on Cup. Like, I think that's what I would lean towards, is double JSN and hope that Gonzalez can hold up against Cup, because JSN in man coverage, if they pick up the blitz, it's almost impossible. No matter how good your corner is, it's almost impossible to cover someone in man coverage, especially someone as good as JSN, who can catch the ball with one hand if he needs to. You can't cover him that well.
We've got to leave it there, but we'll have plenty of time to X and O this thing as we continue. Brian Daboll takes a job in Tennessee. Did he choose that over Philadelphia? And if so, why? We'll answer it next. All right, we are back on Get Up, and it is time for today's Green List, which are the top 5 people or teams that should absolutely hate this Super Bowl. All right, and so I'm going to do these in no particular order. Sometimes we count them down from 5 through 1, but the order in which we place them doesn't really matter. The first of them is Geno Smith. We were reminded by Adam Schefter earlier this week that Geno Smith the Seahawks wanted Geno Smith back last year. Geno Smith wanted out of Seattle. So they traded him to the Raiders, where he promptly was awful. They were the worst team in the NFL. They now have the first pick in the draft where they will select his replacement, and his replacement in Seattle has led them to the Super Bowl in his first year. So Geno Smith needs to hate this Super Bowl. The New York Jets. The New York Jets did everything they could to ruin Sam Darnold. And then they since after that drafted Zach Wilson, signed Aaron Rodgers, signed Justin Fields. They still don't have a quarterback. And parenthetically, they also drafted Leonard Williams, who is one of the best players on Seattle's defense.
And Leonard Taylor, who blocked the field goal for Patriots.
So, I mean, the Super Bowl is lousy with former Jets. The Vikings have got to hate this Super Bowl. They said, Sam, thanks but no thanks. We're good with 9. And maybe in the long run, that will wind up having been the right thing to do. I'm not exactly sure how long that run is going to have to be, because Sam Darnold went out and proved them completely wrong, right? You got to be, if you're in Minnesota right now, you can't even watch this.
Could have franchise tagged him. You could have at least given it one more year.
Another person who's got to hate the Super Bowl is Josh Allen. Josh, he waited all this time and finally got a playoff field in which he did not have Mahomes and did not have Burrow. He has owned the division forever, and now all of a sudden in one fell swoop, someone else sneaks in, wins his division, and finally makes the run all the way to the Super Bowl that has been eluding him all of this time, especially when Allen himself played his own worst playoff game, and otherwise they're probably still playing this week. He's got to hate it. And the last one is the Titans. How do you think they feel about firing Mike Vrabel now? Mike Vrabel took a 4-13 team to the Super Bowl in 1 year. Since they fired him, they've been 3-14 in consecutive seasons. The GM that they chose over him in a power struggle, they fired 1 year later. They're on, I think, now their third coach since then. So the Titans have become a complete mess. And if you're looking for reasons why, they had an outstanding coach and decided to fire him for absolutely no good
One of the funniest things that was being said when they hired Robert Saleh was they were looking for a Mike Vrabel type coach in Tennessee. They had a Mike Vrabel type coach in Tennessee.
That's really well said. Kmart, any quick reaction?
I think number 1 should be the Titans.
Yeah.
And number 2 should be the Vikings, because the Titans are a mess. And the Vikings, the Jets fans, honestly, you guys are getting way too heated about this, because Sam Darnold, look how long ago that was. The Vikings had him on the roster last year. To me, that's more of an issue.
Can I make an addition?
Yeah.
There's going to be a guy at home watching his former team, his former owner go in the Hall of Fame, and he's not going to be getting it. Can I put Belichick in the list here?
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty brutal week for Belichick,
That
too.
is. All things, that's right. Here are the Patriots back, and we think Kraft gets in, and then we'll wait.